Hello once again. Danger Dark World is essentially dead, so I'm moving on to another deck. This time still with 40 cards. Still with Danger Bigfoot here, but with a twist. I used to only run one, now we're running a full set of Danger Bigfoot. Level 8 pops face up cards on the field. Then there's Danger Thunderbird, the other useful level 8 Danger card we will not talk about Algo Pogo. I only run two, because I only ever had two. I only had one copy in the side deck before because it pops face down. Now I'm running two. I will have no plans of running a third copy unless necessary. Speaking of cards that I only have two of, I have here Alpha, King of the Beasts. He's a really great card. Special summon if your opponent has more attack on their side of the field. It's not once per turn to summon it, so you can summon two or three if you have three. Its once per turn effect is to bounce a card on the field, and then you can just summon it again. Really good card. Notice that they're all level 8. Speaking of level 8, here's Gizma Karachi. Another level 8 that's easy to summon from the graveyard or hand. Banish 8 from the top of your main deck, special summon. Remove 3 from your extra deck, destroy a monster on the field. Really good card. You're going to find out later why it's all level 8. Then there's Dino Wrestler Pankratops, a good utility card, special summon if you have less monsters than your opponent, then pop a card on your opponent's side of the field. Speaking of popping cards, we have here Arch Nemesis Sekka or something. Banish 3 different types from the graveyard or the field, and then special summon. Declare a type that's on the field, destroy all of them, and then they cannot be summoned by the opponent until the next turn. It's VFD for types. So example, they have machines, and then you have here a copy of Orochi on the field. Declare machines, especially if they're running Orcus, boom, they cannot summon until the end of the turn. Really good card, and it's really difficult to destroy. Then we have our Kaijus. We have Thunder King, Dogoran, Godarla, and Gamma Shell. I've seen people build with 3 Godarla, then 1 Dogoran. I only run 4. So the reason here is that Godarla has the obvious purpose of removing Gale, the wind barrier statue. But in our local meta, not everyone runs Gale. It's not that much of a meta card. So I only side the other copy of Godarla. And as for Thunder King over the machine Kaiju, I still don't get why, but it does work. It helps me bring out a copy of Zoo King into the field because it's a 3,300 monster. So there's that. But as of the current meta in our locals, these 4 guys work. Then there's Luna, Fairy Tale Luna. Normal summon to search an 1850 spellcaster. That's all of her. Then quick effect is you target a monster. They both go back to hand unless the opponent will send a copy of that monster from their deck or extra deck. It normally works well against Kaiju because not everyone runs Kaiju in their field. Hand traps. We have a playset of Cyframe Gamma with Driver because it won't work without Driver. Triple Haru. Triple Max C. We need the draw power here. I have a copy of Ghost Bell and a copy of BD Crow in case opponent uses Graveyard Shenanigans. I wanted to use Skullmeister, but I didn't have a copy. I was also planning on getting Dimensional Shifter, but I'm still waiting for it from the mail. Then there's Effect Failure. It works. It's not once per turn. It negates effects. Old school but cool, and it's a spellcaster. So there's that. And Niburu, 1 copy. There's some decks that spam a lot, and if your opponent happens to not spam, side it out. The surprise card here is Kuribo. Not a lot of people expect Kuribo. It turns damage into 0. It works great when your opponent uses OTK, as in 1-hit attacks. It has saved my ass against a lot of OTK decks, and then going against them the next turn, you get your chance of winning. Kuribo. Old school but cool. And our only spell trap in the deck is Sekka's Light. If you have nothing in the graveyard in terms of spells and traps, you draw 2 cards and you cannot activate any other spells or traps for the rest of the duel except for Sekka's Light. And then if you banish Sekka's Light and you show your opponent a hand card, a monster card, return it to the deck, you shuffle and then you draw 1 card. It's essentially a plus tree. Sorry, draw tree. You can only use each effect once per turn. Now, why most of the level 8s? Because our main monster here is number 97, rank 8. Remove a material, choose a dragon, 2 dragons that are number monsters. One becomes a material and the other becomes an Xyz monster. And we usually summon number 100. Effect of number 100 is you remove a material. For every rank on the field, times 1000, that's the attack it gains. 9000, direct attack. If you're the first turn, you may want to summon number 38 for control. So, number 82 is simply there because it's a dragon number monster. And it's great for material. The rest of the extra deck are literally just filler. I have a way of summoning them, but I just don't summon them because your focus is this. Side deck. I mentioned that I sided Godarla and Gamashell. They work, but on the rare chance that I am going to face against a Gale statue deck, I just remove the Gamashell and then I pop in another copy of Godarla. Yuki. There are decks that really need their monsters or spells or traps on the field. Pop them out. Droll and Lockbird. When Haru is not enough. Artifact Lancea. I was thinking of using either Lancea or Dimensional Shifter, which I'm getting soon, so either way they work. Lancea is great. There are decks that still need banishing, especially Tri-Brigades. Hell, if you're going to use Dimensional Shifter where they have nothing on the graveyard, that might work better. Denko Sekka. I have literally survived decks that use a lot of sets such as Sky Striker decks or anti-meta control decks. Denko Sekka is the way to go. She's our card from Sekka's Light, so might as well run 2 copies of her. Trap Eater. Weirdly enough, there are cards where they don't allow you to use effects on the field, such as anti-meta decks that use Skill Drain or Imperial Order, so you just eat them up. This will not work against Vanity's Emptiness because you cannot special summon in the first place. But if it's any other continuous trap, it's a good counter for them. And then there's Lava Golem. I hate Evil Twin. Lava Golem. So that's the deck. I'll be updating this soon with other stuff. Happy dueling.